We are here in downtown Alpharetta, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at what makes it such a vibrant city center and where, in my opinion, it is the place to be. Now, we have a massive green space that runs right through it where you have shops, restaurants. It's a perfect atmosphere to come out and enjoy a scene on the weekend or play with the kids. We have City Hall, the library, and we also tie into Alpha Loop if you want to get right to Avalon. Now, we are very close to Wills Park as well, and as always, the highway. So if you are commuting into the city, it is a short drive. In my opinion, if I was moving to Georgia, this is the town I would want to be. Let's take a look. Now, I used to live walking distance to downtown Alpharetta, and we were in a townhouse there. Absolutely loved it for the ability of things to do, the accessibility. But the problem is, with the townhouse, we just outgrew it with kids. So unfortunately now we are just back visiting, but it is still one of our favorite spots, especially living in the area. Now, part of what makes downtown Alpharetta so great is as it's really been built up over the past few years, they've kept that old feel charm. And they've done that through the architectural buildings, the facades on the outside, especially the neighboring communities. You wouldn't necessarily get the feel that the majority of the community and the nearby townhouses are all less than 10 years old. And I think that's what brings in part of the draw is it's just a lot more of an inviting area. Now, we're going to cover a little bit of an overview of why I think it's so special and so appealing, but a lot of that is kind of a combination of the shops, the green spaces that they have, the dining, the restaurants, and then the cafes as well. It creates a little bit of an atmosphere for everyone, and that's appealing, especially on the family side if you have kids or if you're just looking out for a date night. Now, the biggest anchor to downtown Alpharetta is City Hall itself. City Hall sits right off of Haynesbridge Road and then at the intersection of Academy Street. Now, on the backside of City Hall is going to be Brook Street Park. And this is fun because it not only has a little bit of green space, but there's also some historical memorials, as well as some streams and little waterfalls that the kids can play in and some walking trails as well. Now, the fun thing about the walking trails is this is where they do the art festivals, but also they have the kids from the neighboring schools come and decorate. So you're going to see various things throughout the year, whether it's pumpkins that have been created in the fall, things for the holidays, or scarecrows that they stuff and do different characters. It gives you a fun little atmosphere to kind of just walk around and then just get a feel for what the locals are doing. Next to City Hall is the library, which if you have kids is a great spot because they do have a ton of classes and things to do that are available. So I'd highly recommend to check out the library spot as well. And then a little bit on the front end of City Hall is going to be the green space. Now, the green space used to be a little bit different, and it's really changed a lot the past few years because they got rid of all the actual grass that was kind of a little nasty depending on the seasonality, and they've replaced it with turf. So now it is really an all year round spot where you have nothing but shops and restaurants nearby. They actually built up a little barrier near the road, so it's a little bit safer for kids if they're running around and playing. And you can always just grab a drink. It is open container there as well, and pop around with families and friends. Now, as far as the shops and dining there, I do just want to touch on some of my favorites. Right on the square, you're going to have Indian Street Food Cafe and Chiringa. Chiringa has these insane tequila slushies where if you're not careful, it'll be a tough walk back. Definitely don't recommend driving after those. On the other side of that are a lot of other options. You have places like Taffer's Tavern, which is Taffer's from the hit TV show. They had come in, Bar Rescue, they came in and did that one. You also have Smoke Jack Barbecue, which is hands down some of the best barbecue I've ever had in Georgia. And then you have places like Lapeer, which is awesome for a date night. They have great craft cocktails. You have Jekyll Brewing, City Street Tavern, The Standard, Never Enough Time. There's just tons of different options. Outside of that, you also have a lot of breweries as well. You have Currahee, you have Jekyll Brewing, you have Truck and Tap. And then as you get out from the main green space as well and go down the side streets, you have another set of restaurants and shops and things to explore. Some of the great spots over there are Fermented, which is a little wine bar. You have Ceviche for tapas, and then Fogon and Lions as well, which is another little tapas Italian place. And around the corner, you actually have a bunch of what you're going to see for the boutique shops and cafes. When it comes to coffee, I think Downtown Alpharetta really crushes it on coffee spots. You have Valor Coffee, which is great. They have a little indoor-outdoor area if you're looking to get some work done. You have Boarding Pass Coffee, which is super cool, especially if you have kids. They actually made the inside of it feel like you're in an airplane hangar a little bit, which is an awesome aesthetic. And then you have Warm Waves Coffee, which is really good for espressos, and it's kind of an old little barn house feel, as well as Nescafe. Nescafe does these crazy things where there's like waffles on a stick. My daughters absolutely love it. Highly recommend checking that out as well. Now, one of the big draws, I think, for a lot of people with Downtown Alpharetta is just the amount of events and social things they do throughout the year. So from April to November, every Saturday morning, they actually have a really large farmers market, which is great because it's not just vegetables. They have local shops, crafts, foods, super fun, whether you have pets or kids to walk around and just kind of get out and meet some local businesses and find some really unique things, whether you're looking for something to eat or just doing a little bit of shopping. You also have things like Food Truck Alley, which is also from the spring to the fall. In Thursday evenings, they have a bunch of food trucks that line up in the parking lot, which is great to just pop around. And it's also right next to the breweries as well. So it gets a little bit of the younger crowd and a lot of social atmosphere. They have cornhole leagues out there. And it's kind of a little bit of a lot of things that you would actually find in the city. Now, we talked about over near Brook Street Park, there's the Alpharetta Art Street Fest, which they do as well. A bunch of super awesome and talented vendors set up. You can go see paintings, crafts that they've made. There's various art, live music, entertainment. And a lot of the artists are just local to the region, which is great because you can support a local business and get somebody that's maybe trying to get on the map a little bit more recognition. We also have the Taste of Alpharetta, which is going to showcase a lot of those restaurants that we talked about before. It's one of our largest annual events because you get foodies from all over and you have over 60 local restaurants participating. So it's really kind of that perfect opportunity to sample a lot of different dishes, and I highly recommend that. In October, we typically see the street shut down a little bit for Wire and Wood Festival, which is this big music festival where they kind of just have different stages set up and you can just go from one side to the other and walk around. And all of the stores, because the weather is so great this time of year, are really kind of open to the public, and you get that indoor-outdoor feel as well. Now, if you're looking for something in the spring, in April's, we also have the Alpharetta Wine Festival, which very similar is going to set up right in the green space. And usually there's somewhere between 20 and 30 different local wineries, especially that come up from north towards the mountains that come down. And you can sample, you can buy bottles, and you can just walk around. Now, this is hit or miss. Some days I've been there over the past few years where it's 70 degrees and it's wonderful to kind of just hang out with some wine outside. Others, it can be almost high 90s in April, and that is a tough pill to swallow when you're trying to drink red wine outside in 90-degree heat. They also do a great job kicking off the holiday season with a massive tree that gets lit up with the annual tree lighting that takes place of the fountain in the green space. So throughout the remaining parts of the year, there is a nice little small fountain that kids can run in and play in over on the green space. And then once we get to the winter months, they actually shut that down. The tree goes over it. And it's a really great spot for family photos or kids to kind of just see something that they may not necessarily see in the house with this like 50-foot tree. Now, nearby to downtown Alpharetta, there are a lot of options, especially walking distance, but a very short drive as well. So you have a Publix that is right there. So if you're in the downtown area and you need to pop in and get something, you can grab that as well. There's a barber shop if you're looking for a haircut. We have the bank is there. And there's a bunch of different places that are a little unique where if you just venture off the hidden path, you're going to find them. So there's an ice cream store that's tucked away. That's great. We also have this little bakery boutique shop that is almost for like afternoon tea and modeled after some French stores that is super fun. And then you have anchor places that are brand new, like Fetched, where it's kind of just a indoor outdoor bar area, but it's specifically for dogs to run around. Dog owners can go, they can have the dogs off leash, and it's really easy to kind of just let them enjoy. Now, around the corner from downtown Alpharetta, we also have Wills Park. Now, Wills Park is fantastic because it is something that you can utilize all year round. They have multiple baseball fields, soccer fields. There's 3 different playgrounds. There's 2 different public pools that have water slides. And it does give something where it's like if you're out there with the kids of all ages, they can be on one playground, the others can be on another one. There's basketball courts, they have tennis. And on the backside, there is an equestrian spot where you can do horseback riding lessons. They have stables. It's fun for the kids to just kind of go and explore, and it makes it super easy for things to do on the weekend that don't cost anything as well. Now, if you are looking for places to stay while you're there, there is a brand new hotel that doesn't actually look brand new. It looks like it's been there all along, called the Hamilton Hotel, which is right off the main strip. And then right next to that is what looks like an old school barber shop, but you actually go in, they give you a ticket, and it's for a speakeasy. So it's underneath the hotel. They have a bar, there's live music, there's like duck pin bowling. If you have a chance to stay there, or if you're out on the weekends, Friday, Saturday night, I would definitely recommend checking out the Speakeasy. It's called Roaring Social. Now, there's so much more I could dive into, especially when it comes to downtown Alpharetta, having lived there. And for those that live in the area and are lucky enough to just be able to walk all the things, I miss it. But if you're trying to find more things to do, check out our Alpharetta guide, which is downloadable below. That's completely free. And if you have any questions just based on somebody that's lived there, has been in the community, has owned a property nearby, I'm happy to answer what it's like to live there, kind of the lifestyle, and what you can expect. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks so much.